Hey guys, what's going on, and thanks for tuning into Legatum Gaming. It is yet again another vendor reset week. So like normal, what I would do is I will check all of the safe houses in both the open world and in the dark zone, as well as all the checkpoints and of course the base of operations. So like normal, what I would do is put all of the timestamps in the description below, so do check it out. It's to make it a little easier for yourself. Alright, so let's get started. The Advanced Weaponry Vendor. So this week they have a really nice enhanced AUG A3P. So 22.5% critical hit chance, which is of course really good. Now the talents on this is Destructive, Horrid, and Fierce. Now this is mainly, my guess is kind of like a PvE is what it would be best at, although the AUG isn't being used so much at the minute. You know, a lot of people are proccing MP7s with the proxy. Maybe the AUG will come back, who knows. However, my recommendation here is to probably take out Horrid here and then put in whatever you want, and maybe keep Destructive, hence why I'm saying PvE. Just be careful though, if you do get this and you did want to keep Destructive, the stamina requirement is 3,832, so just be careful as it is really high. In terms of Horrid here, you could put Ferocious or maybe Responsive or Brutal, something like this. However, pretty nice enhanced AUG, so definitely one to check out. Okay, the Special Equipment Vendor at the base this week offers a couple of reasonable items. Now, of course, as I always say, just be a little careful when you are getting these, because the credits do or are a lot of money. So, for example, 1,248 going down to kind of like 700 and 800 here. Now, although kind of like Phoenix credits aren't used as much anymore, the only thing they are really used for is kind of like recalibration, etc. So just be careful. However, getting into it, they have a pretty nice Pakhan here, which is mainly for PvE, my guess is. However, you could proc it on kind of like PvP and then run it with Lone Star. So the talents on it is Adept, Swift, and of course the third talent, each kill makes the next reload have 20% extra bullets. Although with Lone Star it will kind of be a bit of a meaningless talent because it does auto reload on the Lone Star. So however, I thought I would show you it because it does have 14% damage to targets out of cover. My recommendation here is to swap out Swift and maybe put in maybe Responsive or maybe Deadly or Brutal, something like this. However, depending on who you run with or what your team is, it's entirely up to you. Now, I don't normally tend to buy from here, and I never really tend to recommend buying from here, just because of the natural kind of high impact that the Phoenix credits have, and actually it's not worth it because gear does drop quite a lot. Now, they do have Predator's Mark gloves, and I do want to show you these just because the armor is 990, so some really strong gloves. However, the actual rolls on them aren't too great. So Firearms 1143 with critical hit chance, SMG damage, and pistol damage. So although they're not the greatest gloves and they're actually pretty bad in terms of the roll, if you did want some extra armor and you did want to run with pistol damage, my recommendation here would be to increase the Firearms and maybe just run with pistol damage. Now, they're not great at all. However, with the current meta being in a lot of hybrid builds, I thought I would just throw it in there. Alright, now over to the Blueprints vendor we have. Converted USC Blueprint, Firearms Backpack Blueprint, Electronics Backpack, Flash Hider, Tactical SASG, and the Military Scar, as well as the Stamina Mask. Now, just be careful, guys, because if I've already got a blueprint, it will not show. And actually, I do actually believe I'm missing one here, which means I've already got it. So always check out the Special Blueprint Vendor, whichever you read or whatever video you watch. My recommendation, you must always check out the Blueprint Vendor. If the person showing it you, i.e. myself, already has it, I cannot show you it again. So always check it out. However, nothing too major here. It's kind of like what I'm seeing. Maybe the SASG is pretty decent. However, it's only a 229 gear score. So not too great at all, and I'm definitely missing one. So definitely check it out yourself. Nothing too major here. Maybe the converted USC might come back, but other than that, the rate per minute is pretty low. However, these are the blueprints. Okay, at Dante's Run, they have the Damage to Elites mod. Now, of course, you can only get this in the purple variety of the gear, and it's actually in electronics at 202. Now, it does come with a 3% damage to elites, which is a pretty nice roll. And of course, this would be pretty good for kind of like a hybrid build, or alternatively, just maybe for your PvE build. However, a really nice mod to get. At the Ward safe house this week, they have a prototype electronics mod at 245 with 3% skill haste. So really nice prototype electronics mod, especially with the Ninja backpack and all of the hybrid builds which are going around at the minute. So do check it out. Okay, at the Crypt safe house, they have an MP7, which is for PvE, so let me say that. So it's 20.50 critical hit chance with Talented, Ferocious, and Destructive. Now, Destructive armor destruction value is increased by 15%. That's brilliant for PvE. Ferocious, of course, and actually arguably the best PvE talent. So damages against elite and named enemies is increased by 10%, and then of course Talented. Now, depending on your build, it's entirely up to you what you do here. If you did want to keep Ferocious, just be careful because the stamina requirement is 3,832, as well as the firearms and the electronics. So quite a well-rounded build is needed for the Ferocious talent. And then Talented, of course, killing a target with this weapon increases skill power by 15% for 20 seconds. So actually a really nice talent. However, in my opinion, and depending on your build, I would swap out Talented here and maybe put in like Brutal or maybe like Deadly or something like this. However, again, up to you, and thought it was just a real nice MP7, sorry, that I would show you guys. West 31 this week offers you a prototype electronics mod. So 251 electronics with 3,319 skill power. So I'm actually going to get a couple of these. This is actually a really nice mod to have, so do not miss out. West 53rd this week offers you a pretty reasonable LMG under the name of the Infantry MG5. Now, it has a 13% damage to targets out of cover, which is not the max. However, this is related to PvE, hence the talents it has. So competent weapon damage is increased by 10% for 15 seconds after using a skill. It has Meticulous, and in the third slot it has Dominant. So every kill performed while your signature skill is active reduces the cooldown of your other skills by 10%. So a really nice and underrated talent to have. My recommendation here is to take out Meticulous, and if you do have the requirement, is to put in Ferocious. However, if you don't, again, depending on your build and the type of playstyle you are, put in whatever you want. If you are relating to PvE, then maybe Brutal is a good one here, or Deadly, depending on if you have good crit hit chance. So a reasonable LMG, not the best, however, thought for those people who are interested in PvE and farming, and maybe in specifically shall I say, have Lone Star, this might run well for you. East 53rd has for you this week a really nice military M870. So it has on it responsive, deadly, and self-preserved. Now, of course, responsive and deadly being a really good talents for the M870. Now, in the third slot, again, it's entirely up to you. Maybe Brutal will run here, and then theoretically you have the highest possible damage you can get with deadly, responsive, and brutal. Nonetheless, a really nice shotgun, and you guys can change it up to whatever you want. However, don't miss that out. In addition, they have pretty much the perfect or thereabouts prototype firearms mod. So 267 firearms with 3% skill haste. So I've actually already bought about 7 of these. However, I'm going to get like a couple more just to make sure. Really nice firearms mod. Do not miss out on that. Okay, at East 34th checkpoint this week, they have some Savage gloves. Now the armor is 942, so it's not too bad at all. And the firearms is 1250. However, it does have shotgun damage on it, critical hit damage, and pistol damage. So no one's really going to be running a pistol build, so this is primarily aimed at the shotgun build. Now a recommendation would be to swap out pistol damage and have critical hit chance in here. Then you can run shotgun, critical hit damage, critical hit chance, and of course a pretty nice firearm stat. So these are just a couple of things. In addition, they have a 3.5% turret damage prototype performance mod, so do check it out if you guys are running maybe like a TAC Firecrest build. Definitely, I've seen a few videos on those and they are very powerful, so do check it out. Okay, 5th Avenue checkpoint, which is the most southern part of DZ01, offers you a really nice LMG. So this is the military RPK-74 with 15% damage to targets out of cover, with adept, skilled, and dominant. Now, just to add, this is or would be beneficial for a PvE build, just based on the talents. So adept, using a skill increases your critical hit chance by 7.5% for 15 seconds. Skilled, headshot kills with this weapon increase signature skill by 5%, and then dominant, which is every kill performed while signature skill is active, reduces the cooldown of your other skills. So pretty nice PvE build. You can either run it like this or maybe change a few things up, like talented or something like that would maybe fit in quite nicely here. However, entirely up to you, and if it does fit your build, then please try it. However, just be careful, because a couple of these talents do require some high requirements, such as 3,832 in both the electronics and in the firearms. So just be careful if you do get them. However, a pretty nice LMG I thought I would show you guys. At DZ2 Safe House, they have actually a lot of really nice gear. So first of all, I'm going to show you the Rapid Vest. Now, the armor at 1852 is not the best. However, I thought I would show you it. So it decrease cooldown for all healing skills by 15%. It's rolled to electronics at 1136. Has skill haste on it, exotic damage resilience, and increased kill XP. So this is not the best rapid sort of vest. However, with the current meta at the minute in terms of the ninja backpack and a lot of people mixing and making hybrid builds, I thought I would just throw it in there. My recommendation is to increase the electronics on this and make it towards the max. In addition to this, they actually have a pretty reasonable accomplished knee pads. So it has health already rolled on it. Now the health is maybe about 1500 away from being the maxed. However, still a nice addition. Now the armor is pretty good, so 1624, and just to add in, they do have a 14% damage to elites in the minor. So the actual talent of this is rewards from accolades are tripled. So this is only for PvE. However, my recommendation, would be to take off the stamina and either increase it into firearms or move it to electronics, depending on the type of build you have. However, some pretty nice accomplished knee pads. Now, last but not least, they have pretty much almost god roll savage gloves. So the only problem with this is it's rolled to stamina, so you would have to change it to firearms, and if you did that, you would have to keep on the SMG damage. Now the only problem with this is it does have enemy armor damage, so it does limit it or reduce the effect between PvE and PvP. However, some really nice savage gloves. So the armor makes it pretty much brilliant at 998. The SMG damage is almost max, and skill haste at 8%, again almost max, and then enemy armor damage at 7% is really nice. So my recommendation would actually be to keep the major attributes and swap out stamina and put it into firearms. That way you have some pretty nice PvE gloves which are designed and focused for SMG use. At DZ4 Safe House, they have a prototype performance mod, which is the first aid self-heal at 5.5%. Now, it's not the max is 6%. However, it's just for those players who are really struggling to find one and they just do want a first aid self-heal. So if you did want this, there's a 5.5% one at DZ4 Safe House. Okay, DZ6 Safe House offers a couple pieces of gear which are really nice. So a Deadeye chest plate. Now, although the classified gears come out, for those people who haven't got it, then this is pretty reasonable. So 1950 armor with 16,000 health, 5% enemy armor damage, and 52% ammo capacity. Now, it is rolled to stamina, and the idea of Deadeye is all firearms, so my recommendation here would be to swap out the stamina and put in firearms. In addition to this, they have a really nice pair of defensive gloves. So the armor is 1,000 with critical hit damage, SMG damage at 979, and then 4% health on kill. Again, it is rolled to stamina. Now, depending on the type of build you have, you can either increase the stamina or change it to firearms or electronics. However, some really nice defensive gloves for you guys to take a look at. Okay, DZ8 Safe House offers you, again, a couple pieces of gear, which I want to show you. So they have a Deadeye mask, which is 999 in terms of armor, 1167 firearms, 3.5% critical hit chance, and 13% increased kill XP. So it already comes with 3.5% critical hit chance, which is pretty nice. My recommendation here would be to increase the firearms at 1167 and increase it to maybe 1270, 1271. Try and get it towards the max that you can. In addition, they have a pretty reasonable pair of Tactician's Authority gloves. Now, the armor is really nice at 997. It's already rolled to electronics, which again is a pretty good roll. Now, it does come with assault rifle damage at 1300. 4% health on kill, and 5.5% critical hit chance. Now, it's a bit of a tough one here in terms of what you guys do. My recommendation would actually be keeping the electronics stat as what it is, and depending on what you're using this for, whether it be PvE or PvP, you could either swap out assault rifle damage or health on kill, and maybe put in skill haste here, and that would work really well as a good pair of Tactician's Authority gloves. Okay guys, and we're at DZ9 Safe House, which is the last stop of the week, so let's get straight into it. They have two pieces of gear which I want to bring to your attention. So the first one being the Lone Star holster. Armor is 993 with 1226 firearms, 1148 stamina, and 1259 electronics. Now, it does have a 4% critical hit chance, which is the max, and it already has that on it. Now, I do know classified gear is out, and a lot of people do have the 6-piece or at least a 5-piece Lone Star, so it may not be applicable to all. However, for those people who do want the Lone Star holster and haven't got the classified gear, then this is a really nice piece of gear to look at. In addition, they have the Banshee Shadow Gloves. Now, the armor isn't max, however, it's not the best piece, but certainly not the worst. So 911 armor with 1138 firearms. Now, this comes with 15% critical hit damage, 7.5% enemy armor damage, and 5.5% critical hit chance. So again, you know, a lot of hybrids are going around now with the Banshee and Tactician, etc., which is a very good build. So my recommendation here would be to swap out the firearms, or shall I say to increase it and try and get it towards the cap of around 1270, 1271. And that way you would have a pretty decent pair of Banshee Shadow Gloves. Alright guys, well that's actually it for this week's vendor reset. Hope you guys did enjoy the video. If you guys do have any comments or tips on how I could improve the video, you know, I do it for you guys, so anything you guys want would be beneficial to myself. If you did enjoy the video, let me know, drop a comment, hit the like button, and most of all, and would be very appreciated, is to hit a subscribe. Thanks a lot guys, hope you had a great day and enjoy.